Hello, everybody. It's Francis McInerney of Future Creators with you again. Future Creators is, as you know, our comprehensive system for managing at zettabyte scale. Because Future Creators is based on a few simple principles on the information cost velocity curve and how to measure the speed of information flowing through companies, it is the most comprehensive business management system ever developed. It covers just about everything you can think about. And it has enormous reach. And what we're going to do today is study something very interesting, and that is Amazon. And we are going to look at what Amazon looks like with Whole Foods. Will this deal work? It's been closed for just about a year. There's an awful lot of media on the subject, but let's take a detailed look at Amazon, what's happening, and what investors and competitors and suppliers can expect. First of all, you're going to learn some very interesting things today. The conventional wisdom on M&A, you know it well, target your deal, cut costs, you get value creation. That is not how we think at all about M&A. In our view, it's the simple numbers. Your ecosystem velocity tells you everything. And our video on ecosystem velocity is available to you clients. You can study it anytime you want, and it's critical to understanding this deal. And in fact, any M&A deal. Do not acquire without a top speed ecosystem velocity first. The number of deals that just die because management never got this. You have companies that get our management F grade, trying to merge, thinking they're going to create value. It doesn't work. And if you don't have a top speed ecosystem velocity, you will not know what to buy, why, or even how to make the deal accretive. Amazon's data show clearly that it doesn't understand what its ecosystem velocity is. You'll be surprised when you see these numbers. Or how to accelerate its ecosystem velocity to M&A speeds. Amazon doesn't know how to make M&A accretive. And it's vital that we understand this, because if you look at Amazon's numbers, the first thing that jumps out is that Amazon Web Services, which are only 10% of total revenues, account for 105% of operating profits. And in fact, without Amazon Web Services, Amazon is a loss-making enterprise. That's right, loss-making. And if you look at its share increase in the last year, you have to ask yourself whether investors are making sound decisions, whether they understand what's going on around them. Because when a company like this doesn't know how to make M&A accretive, issues arise. Good luck with that. This company depends on Amazon Web Services 100%. That's the engine of profit in this firm. We are going to look at what the company looks like trying to do M&A. You can, in many ways, just subtract Amazon Web Services from the picture to give you an idea. And this is interesting. So what our data show is that Amazon's ecosystem velocity is way slower than Whole Foods was. Slower even than Walmart's. It's not getting much better either. The big problem is in payables. There's been a little bit of an improvement over the last couple of quarters, but it's bad. And this suggests, as we know from looking at these data, and as you know from studying all of the video tutorials we have on future-creators.com, this means supply chain management problems. Now, let's think about this for a second. Amazon, the big vendor online, has supply chain management problems? Yep, it surely does. The data are unambiguous. So what we can only conclude is that the home of Amazon Web Services probably has ERP problems. That is amazing. But the data are the data, and that's what the data say. So the question I always have in a case like this is management reading its own annual reports? Look at Sears. We tracked Sears for 20 years. The data was public, easily available to anyone who could read an annual report, and management did exactly nothing because it didn't read its own annual reports. Amazing, but true. Amazon may not have the information to know how to make a Whole Foods deal accretive. Well, if they can't do that, M&A is really out of the question as a growth engine for the company. It's not a way to go. And that brings up really big questions about Amazon's future that we all have to deal with. Now, let's compare the ecosystem velocities of Amazon, Walmart, and Whole Foods. And you can see that Amazon is the clear laggard. A bit of improvement over the last few years, but this is not making it a star. Whole Foods is way faster than Walmart, twice as fast, in fact. That's something. So you have a laggard trying to absorb a star. That kind of thing doesn't work because an ecosystem velocity this bad says unambiguously that there is no way Amazon knows enough about operations to understand how you would actually run a Whole Foods. And the question then is, will it mess the thing up? And we're now about a year after this deal, so there's lots now we can begin to follow to see what's going on over there. Now, Amazon's ecosystem velocity over the last, not quite decade, it hit rock bottom and it started to move up. Yeah, it's great, but this is not star performance. Now, let's look at some of the core efficiencies of Amazon. You can see here the days of sales and inventory. They're high. Days of sales and receivables, also kind of high, given that it's in the retail business. Look at the COGS in payables. That's really high. We're talking around 105 at the end of this period. They're down a little bit now, but something is wrong here. And notice it's not exactly a straight line, but close to it. In other words, no one's paying any attention whatever. And this tells me big supply chain problems, and they've been there for a long time, and management just isn't focused. They just don't even seem to notice or just think it's okay. And it also suggests that they are pushing their suppliers into being their bankers, which suggests even deeper problems financially, because when you try to force your suppliers to bank you, big questions arise. Now, look at days of sales and inventory. Here's Walmart and Amazon. And Walmart, you know, it's now a little bit above Amazon, but it's not as if Amazon has, given the fact that it's meant to be an online player with magnificent inventory management, shown great leadership or outstanding breakthrough performance. That's not happening with these data. Clearly not happening at all. Now, let's look at receivables. Amazon's days of sales and receivables are far higher than Walmart's. That makes no sense. These receivable days are just too high and getting higher. Why is that? Why is Walmart so low and Amazon so high? Walmart's in the bricks and mortar business until quite recently, but the numbers are just the numbers. Now, look at the payables data. Oh my. How is it that Walmart can manage its supply chain in such a way that its suppliers are paid in reasonable time, and Amazon's just aren't? This tells me that Walmart's ERP, which is renowned, I have to say, merits its renown. Amazon doesn't seem to have any control over this. Very interesting. To me, this is the most interesting piece of data in the entire set. And it suggests big ERP problems, big supply chain management problems, and probably all kinds of management, organization, and structural problems as well. We may find that Amazon just has all the wrong people in the wrong jobs. It's got an HR problem in addition. Usually these numbers are symptomatic of all those things and should raise many, many questions about the deeper operational structure of Amazon. Now, what is the price that Amazon pays for this? Amazon had 18 days of sales and accounts receivable going into the Whole Foods deal. Whole Foods had 5. Walmart had 4. Now, how can that be? Doesn't make any sense. Amazon had 105 days of COGS and payables, as we saw from the previous chart. Walmart had 39, as you saw, but Whole Foods had only 11. So Whole Foods' ability to manage its supply chain was obviously incomparably superior. Amazon's ecosystem is weak. There's no other conclusion we can reach. Its supply chain management system is inferior. And our full length on supply chains and ecosystem velocity for clients shows the costs in detail. It's an ouch. And this can only detract from the value of Whole Foods. So this is not a good M&A picture. And remembering that Amazon depends on Amazon Web Services for all of its profits. If Amazon Web Services was not in the picture, Amazon lost $225 million last year. So, we're laying bare a structure here that's not working all that well. Now, the price Amazon pays, the gap between Amazon's ecosystem velocity and Whole Foods amounts to Amazon to $26 billion. Wow, that's real money. Operating margin, it's half of Whole Foods, half of Walmart, and oh, by the way, falling. Even with Amazon Web Services, it's falling. But it's already doing these M&A deals without having mapped its ecosystem velocity onto Whole Foods and figuring out what kind of due diligence to do. The ecosystem velocity management system is not in place. So the question is, what's Amazon thinking? Where do Amazon's Whole Foods customers fit in all this? These are questions that are going to be answered, and they're not going to be funny when they are answered, I have to tell you, especially looking at how Amazon's share price has gone up in the last year, because the data don't show any drivers behind that at all. So we have a foundation series at future-creators.com for our clients, and here are some of the high points of that series for you in light of this seminar. Your cash velocity index, it's just a key video tutorial. Future Creator M&A, where we lay a lot of these issues out. Ecosystem velocity is destiny. You will like that video a lot. Future Creator Zone System, Amazon has actually dropped a grade in the last year or so, and that's not a good sign. When you strip away Amazon Web Services and they've dropped a grade, they've probably dropped more than a grade. Case studies, Apple, fascinating. This is one of the great retail stories that you can ever see. Sears, one of the biggest disasters known to man. I don't even know how a company can look at data the way Sears has looked at it for so long and ignored what's happened. And of course, we've got a great video on Walmart, and you'll learn there how Walmart operates and the cores to Walmart's success. Now, we've been doing this since 1976. Great to be with you again, and hope to talk to you soon, and we'll do another exciting case study.